Okay, continuing from where we left off, I just wanted to cover a few more things regarding how to work with this. Basically, so far we have how to configure the inputs and how to just start recording, lay down a track or whatever. The other thing that I wanted to cover here was this. This is your monitoring section. This is basically it's set to auto by default, which means that it will not monitor unless the track is armed, and we have already seen that here. If I arm this track, you can see that it's monitoring now because the track is armed. If I disarm the track, though, obviously we're not monitoring anymore. If I set this to in, Live will consistently monitor the track whether it is armed or not. This is effectively how you would use the track as an auxiliary track, which is pretty much the same as an aux track in another setup, another program or DAW or whatever. Setting this to off, Live will never monitor the track. Even though the meters are going up and down, they're grayed out. And this is basically just useful if you have some other way of monitoring. For example, if your interface has its own dedicated monitoring feature and you don't have to hear the signal coming through Live, you can simply just monitor through the device instead of the program, which is useful because it avoids latency that way. But for general purposes, the best thing to do is just to have this set to auto. Another thing that you should know about auto is that if there is a clip here, that Live will not monitor over the clip. So if it's playing a clip, you won't be able to hear anything coming in through the mic or the input or whatever as long as that clip is playing. Again, that's useful so that you don't mix things up and start to overwrite your data or whatever it is that you're doing. Another thing that you can do, and let me put in a few more tracks here. I'm not going to configure these with the inputs because I don't have any more inputs on my machine, but if you had, say, 4 inputs, let me just hide this, get this out of the way. If you have 4 inputs, this would say 3, this would say 4, and again, you can arm one at a time simply by clicking. If you hold the control key down, you can arm multiple ones at the same time to record those. Say, for example, if this was a drum kit, and you can right click here, go to rename, and you can rename this whatever you want, like kick, for example. These would be all your drum kit pieces. If you want to, and this is purely cosmetic, but you can essentially just hold the control key, select all of these, right click, and group the tracks. What it will do is create a group containing those tracks. They're still independently armed, like this and like this. But what happens is, and you can rename this group whatever you want. You can rename this drums, for example. Give it a different color, whatever you want to do. These can be given different colors as well. If for whatever reason you need to organize, this is very useful. And you can collapse and expand this as well. So once you've got this part done, all you have to do essentially is just save this out as a template, and then you've got your configuration anytime you need to use it, so you don't have to go back and reconfigure this and set it all up again from scratch. Okay.